Hello and welcome back to A Boring Revolution, your number one news source for everything in regards to the Boring Company. You know what, I thought I'd hit you with another episode just prior to Christmas, because I might have a bit of a quiet period after Christmas, so I thought, you know what, if I hit you with an episode now, then I'm not rushing around trying to do an episode in the next few days. Anyway, there's been some news today. It's kind of come out on the sly, but it is big news and it might have big implications for the Boring Company. Now, if you follow the tech sector, you will know of a man named Travis Kalanick. Travis Kalanick was one of the founders and creators of Uber, and he has taken that business from essentially a very small startup with a couple of people to this huge conglomerate that operates, or did, or used to operate in basically every continent in the world, and had a huge turnover. Thousands and thousands of drivers worked for Uber. And basically, he kind of destroyed his opportunity at Uber through various controversial actions. And he has, as of today, I believe as of today, or it might have been a couple of days ago, has sold all his stock in Uber, billions of dollars worth of stock, and has finally left the company. And the important thing is, he has cut all ties now with Uber. So there is no conflict of interest between him investing in another ride-sharing platform or even autonomous car platform, because he has no ties with Uber. He has no legal responsibility to Uber anymore. He has left. Every single share that he owned in Uber is gone. He has no responsibilities at Uber. So what I want to talk about today is, I know it's a bit of a troll kind of title to the video, but I think it's important that we talk about this. Maybe we should approach Travis and get him involved with the Boring Company. Now, I'm not saying do this right away, but maybe in 6 months to a year's time, when we've grown the business, someone like Travis would be perfect for the Boring Company. And that might sound quite controversial to you, but I personally think that he has a specific role. Now, I'm not saying we bring him in as a CEO or Chief Technical Officer or COO or some kind of role like that. I'm saying bring him in as an investor and give him a stake in the business. So, first of all, why would Elon want to work with Travis? The reason is they are very, very similar in quite a few ways. The first being, and this might surprise you, Travis studied computer engineering at university in, I think it was LA, I think, or San Francisco. So he's technically an engineer who has transitioned into becoming an entrepreneur, or you could essentially say he's both. Now, Elon Musk has almost identical career paths. He got into coding. He built his own computer game when he was very, very young. And then obviously he did all the coding for X.com, which then became PayPal. So, and he's always saying he's an engineer, which is true. So essentially both of them are engineers, which should bring them together, because they should, in essence, think the same. Another thing as well is they are both entrepreneurs. They have formed multiple companies. Now, Travis, I believe, has formed 6 companies, and Elon is in the region of 6 to 7 companies. So that's great. The fact that they are willing to take bets on technology, new technologies, and try and create companies that could potentially become unicorns, again, brings them together. The third point, obviously, is that Travis, he is a technologist. He thinks outside the box. He doesn't like regulations. He wants to push the barriers between what is essentially legal and illegal. He always stays in that grey area. He doesn't leave the grey area between legal and illegal, but he's always trying to push the boundaries, to push the regulations. And what we need at the Boring Company is someone who has experience in that kind of field, whether it be ride sharing or building the actual apps that run the ride sharing technology. That is what Travis can bring. He built Uber from scratch from a couple of people. It was his idea, his and another person's idea. So Elon Musk and Travis, despite all the controversy, are actually very, very similar. The problem with Travis Kalanick, he brings all this baggage. Now, I found this article, and this article has a list of all the controversial things that happened with Travis Kalanick. So it's pretty extensive. I'm not going to read all of it because there's about 10 different things in there, but it all started in 2017 when a former Uber engineer published a blog explaining her recent departure and accusing Uber of sexual harassment. And basically, Kalanick knew about this, but he was trying to keep it under wraps, and it ended up coming out. There are just so many things in here, so many things. Uber president Jeff Jones quit after less than 7 months in the position, and then Kalanick, obviously, who hired him, he had to take the rap for that. The US Department of Justice launched a criminal investigation into Uber's use of a secret software tool known as Greyball, which Travis apparently was behind, which helped it to evade local law enforcement officials in places where the service was not yet approved. Again, very controversial. He's pushing the boundaries there. Recode published a 2013 company-wide email from Kalanick in which he set ground rules for using drugs and having intercourse with other employees during a company retreat in Miami. And then obviously after all these controversies, Kalanick's mother passed away in a bolting accident. He left the company. They'd taken away quite a lot of his responsibilities and reduced Kalanick's authority in sharing his responsibility with other executives. It was not good. It was basically a snowball of things that happened. Now, none of the things that happened were really kind of grounds for sacking Travis, but because there were so many so close to each other, especially that incident where he was in a taxi, an Uber, and the actual driver was giving him some jip, and he was basically just, he showed no empathy towards the driver. The fact that we were cutting wages, that was quite disappointing from my point of view. But yeah, he does come with quite a lot of baggage, hence why I don't think the Boeing company should hire him directly. Now, what I think should happen is the Boeing company should bring him on as an investor with possibly some kind of consultancy role within the business, because Uber was a business that with drivers was never ever really going to make money unless it started charging considerably more than what you pay for a typical taxi. Because essentially you've got a middleman in there, and Uber was never going to make money. It's a business that's going to keep losing money. It's had huge investments. It's got huge loans to pay off. It's not a business that's going to make money. Travis probably recognises that, and he's got the opportunity now, with the billions of dollars that he's made from the sale of those shares in Uber, to come across, work behind the scenes at the Boeing company, and build something that is a competitor to Uber in certain cities like Las Vegas, LA, Washington, and Chicago. It looks like Uber. It's got an app that feels like Uber, but you have that added element where there's no driver you need to pay, and also you can use the tunnels, which avoids gridlock and improves the speed of a journey. Therefore, you can move more passengers per hour. Therefore, you can increase your turnover and potentially increase your profit margins as well. And Travis is an expert in that area. He understands more about ride sharing and how Uber operates than anyone in the world, even the people that study it for a living in the tech sector. So being able to bring him in and let him in a way, advise the Boring Company and help them guide them to the right answers, that would be a huge benefit for Elon Musk and the team. Now, previously, people have invested in the Boring Company. I can't remember how much exactly it was. I think it was less than 150 million, in that kind of ballpark. I would like Travis to come in and buy an 18% share for $340 million. I think that's about right, about what the company's worth at this present time. If you look at the projected growth of what the Boring Company is trying to achieve, it'd be interesting to see what other people think. It's very, I must admit, it is very controversial. It comes with a lot of baggage, but there's no one thing that Travis has done at Uber or any of the other companies that he started up that I would say is so controversial he can never be, brought back into Silicon Valley again. I think he's just made, a few boo-boos, and they're minor, but they added up. He's been out of the game for a while now. He's licked his wounds, and he's ready to come back and give it a good crack again at the autonomous electric vehicles. I think could be an area where he could drastically improve what we do. So, on the back of that, let's have a listen and see what's going on in the questions section. See who's here today. Hello everyone. Hello Glenn. I expected to see something like that. What I would say, Glenn, is what in particular did Travis do which you think means that he can't ever be hired again? He probably is a bit of a sexist pig, but at the end of the day, we've got to forgive people, and we've got to give people the opportunity to come back and evolve and change. Johnny B, Merry Christmas Eve, yes, and a Merry Christmas to you and your family, Johnny, for tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. David, yes, Merry Christmas to you as well, my friend. Hope you have a really, really great day. No questions. Maybe a bit too controversial today. What I would say about Travis is, if he's at the Boring Company as an investor rather than as an employee, in the event that something did go wrong again, which is possible, but I think it's unlikely. I think he's matured a lot in the last sort of 1 to 2 years. I might be wrong. If something did go wrong and he's an investor, there's no reason why there couldn't be pressure applied from Elon Musk and other people that work at the Boring Company to remove him from the company. But I think he offers so much in terms of his knowledge of ride sharing, his knowledge of the taxi industry, his knowledge of getting investment. Uber was absolutely pummeled with money. Between 2015 and 2018, absolutely pummeled with money. People were handing over money to Uber because they thought it was going to be this, $200 billion company. But they've just proved to be totally unprofitable. And the only path to profitability is to essentially have less drivers and pay them, a lot more, or even take a bigger percentage of what the driver earns, which wouldn't help the drivers at all. I think what happened at Uber is similar to what happened at WeWork. If you followed that recently and how that all has fallen apart, I think that given the right introduction to the company and given sort of like a half in, half out role, I think that Travis would excel and help us build more systems, build more pods, and expand the business quicker. Let's have a look. We've got a question from Rasputin. Hi, happy to see your channel on the Boring Company. There are many Tesla channels out there, but not many this tunnel boring scene. Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I started this channel, Rasputin, is because there seemed to be quite a few things going on with the Boring Company, yet no one had started a channel. And I thought to myself, what happens if the Boring Company turns into, an $80 billion company in the next 10 years? If I'm the first person to be doing YouTube videos, then that means I can be the first person, to capture the audience. And then hopefully off the back of that, there might be more opportunities for me and I might be able to get, a good few thousand subscribers. On the back of that, by the way, I'd like to thank everyone. I have 2,160 subscribers now, which is a phenomenal amount. I'm really, really proud of that. And it isn't without you guys that I wouldn't have been able to achieve that. A lot of people in the early days offering me advice, telling me how I can improve, various parts of the videos that I can change, things that I could do. And I've taken all that advice on board, or at least 95% of it. And, what you see is on the basis of me learning and improving. Jin Sub, Merry Christmas. Any updates on the Vegas tunnel? I'm going to do an update video after Christmas. The Vegas tunnel seems to be progressing very nicely. They have the stacks of concrete segments, the tunnel linings that they are stacking up in the forecourt, and they seem to be dropping them into the excavation quite regularly. Now, I don't know how far they are progressing each day, but I'd imagine it's somewhere in the 18 to 22 meters of progress per day, which is more than enough and should allow them to finish on time and on budget. So all in all, based on what I've seen, I think the Las Vegas project is doing very, very nicely. And hopefully they can improve on that. Rasputin, are you in the industry? So I'm based in the construction industry. I was actually working for a lot of contractors back in the day, but I moved into safety. At the moment, I work in the safety section of the construction industry, but I am thinking about potentially moving out of that. Although the job at the moment I have is so safe and so comfortable that it doesn't really make sense to take that kind of risk. But you never know what could happen next year. But yes, I am I'm degree educated in construction project management, so I should hopefully know what I'm talking about. Do you have an update on tunnel progress at all sites? I am unaware. Basic status, please. Hi, Mark. Yeah, I had one of my followers on YouTube go and take some pictures in Las Vegas of the various sites. At the moment, there's only one area that's under construction. The other two stations have not even been started, but that was a good 4 or 5 weeks ago, so things could have changed. Do you know where the slurry from the Vegas project is going? Excellent question, Johnny B. I do not know. I just assume, and maybe you shouldn't assume, that it's going to landfill. I am unsure if they're converting some of it into bricks, but I imagine 90% of it, if not more, is going to landfill. It's a very strange consistency. It looks like sand almost. But I imagine that's because how they've preconditioned the soil during the boring phase. So I guess we'll find out in due course. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so I think... Yes, thank you. Thank you, Edmar. Merry Christmas to you as well. I was planning to go out and have a couple of drinks tonight, but my friend unfortunately is stuck on the motorway, and he's going to be a good at least a good half an hour or so before he gets here. So we might be able to squeeze in a quick pint before Christmas Day. Yeah, we need. I was hoping someone was going to get some drone footage as well, but unfortunately that's not happened yet. If you are based in Las Vegas or plan to go to Las Vegas in the next 2 to 3 months, please let me know, and maybe you could help me out by taking a few pictures, because I'd like to find out what's going on at the new conference center and whether they've started building the reception shaft for the TBM for when it breaks through, but I think, and this is based on assumptions, I think that it has not started as of yet. So let's summarize, guys. Before I go, I think Travis could be a useful asset to the Boring Company. He's not essential though. It's not like we have to have him, but I think that if he was brought in as an investor and given a smallish percentage of the Boring Company, somewhere in the region of 12 to 18% of the company, then I think he could offer a lot to the Boring Company and help us expand and possibly help us gain investment for building new tunnel systems in Las Vegas, in Chicago, in LA, in those sort of areas. I think there's a lot of potential. Elon Musk and Travis have a lot of similarities in terms of the backgrounds, being engineers, in terms of being involved in the tech sector, in terms of being innovators, in terms of founding many companies and being really good entrepreneurs. I think there's a lot that they could work together and do. So that's my personal opinion. Now, it is controversial, but you know, that's what's going to get the views on this video. Who think, I tell you what, in the comments, say yes if you want Travis to join the company as an investor, and say no if you think that he should stay away from the company and just do his own thing, and no matter how much money he offers us, he should just stay away and not be involved with the Boring Company. So yes for Travis or no for Travis. Rasputin. I often work with tunnel boring companies myself. Being a driver, the company I work for helps prepare the start/ending pits and guide TBMs underwater when there is groundwater nearby. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Oh, it's down, brother. How you doing, Ben? So question, what do you think Boring Company can do that others can't? Where could they innovate? Oof, Rasputin. Right, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll do a very quick breakdown, Rasputin, of where I think the Boring Company can innovate. So, number one, continuous boring. I think they can develop a TBM that can bore continuously, or can at least bore for 45 minutes of any given hour. I think that's possible. They might have to redesign how the tunnel segments are laid out, but it is possible. I think in terms of automating the boring process, rather than having multiple people working in the boring machine, they could maybe do it with as little as 2 people. And that includes removing all the rocks and all the debris from the screw conveyor via muck trucks. And I think you could have several dozen autonomous muck trucks coming in and out of the tunnel. You could use maybe a narrow gauge railway system inside the tunnel to remove that muck. I think in terms of the power of the machine, I think the machine could be up to 400% more powerful than it previously is. I think in terms of assembling the segments, I think that could be fully autonomous. I think it could be done faster. I think you could have multiple manipulators moving the segments into place, and you could maybe assemble the ring beams in half the time it previously takes. I think that is very, very possible. I think in terms of how the TBM is powered as well, there might be an opportunity for powering it slightly differently, either via batteries or by using ventilation shafts and then dropping in cables and having batteries on the surface near the ventilation shafts, and having your power cable going directly to the TBM, say every 1.4 kilometers or so, or maybe 2 kilometers. There's so many, and obviously the waste as well. Rather than having all this waste that's coming out of the back end of the machine, you could convert a large proportion of that into bricks. Then you could sell those bricks for 10 cents, and you've created essentially a sustainable brick. What else? I think just in terms of fully automating the process and producing the TBMs, almost mass production of TBMs, you could reduce the cost of boring a tunnel from around $10 million at present to, I think, potentially $4.8 million per mile of tunnel is potentially possible. So if they did all those things, possibly think of a few other things on top of that, then, you know, that's going to make a huge difference. I have as well, Johnny, just reading your comment, I have a video as well of the Boeing company. Like someone stood outside the site and they're videoing the Boeing company doing the various actions. So they got the crawler crane and they were removing some muck from the launch pit. And I think on the next video I'll put that in as my introduction. Okay, guys, I am going to shoot off. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who supported the channel this year, especially all our Patreons. That money is hopefully going to go towards, and it's been in my saving account now for quite a while, gaining interest, hopefully towards my trip to Las Vegas, which is hopefully going to happen in the next 12 months. I'm saving very hard, hopefully going to book the day off or the week or week and a half off work. If you have not done so, please like and subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Also, please subscribe to me on Twitter and Instagram. And even better, we have our Discord server where you can talk about everything Boeing company. I'm on there all the time. There's lots of other people who are enthused by the Boeing company who have lots of good questions and lots of good answers and lots of good ideas. If you want to be involved in the conversation, get on our Discord server. If you'd like to support this channel, and I would really appreciate it, maybe donate $2 to our Patreon. The Patreon link is below. And that would be very, very much appreciated if you did that. And I think on that bombshell, I will call it a day. Ben Pena, great doing. Thanks for covering Boeing stuff. There is not a lot of coverage on this. And yes. So my aim is to be the #1 news source for all things in regards to the Boeing company. At some point, someone else will pop up, which is good. I'm not going to complain about that. If that person is doing a good job and is giving accurate information, then that's great. The problem we have at the moment is we have a lot of negative people. There's a guy on Twitter who's constantly commenting on everything that I say, saying negative things about the Boeing company, and he bases that on just guesswork and his hatred of Elon Musk. We've also got people like Thunderfoot and various other people on YouTube calling the Boeing company out, saying it's not going to move enough people, that it's a stupid idea, but these are the same people that were calling out SpaceX and Tesla, and you know what's happened to Tesla Q? They are about to fail. In the next 9 months, Tesla Q will be gone, which is great news. And the same thing's going to happen to the Boeing company. We're going to prove all our doubters wrong. Give it 3 or 4 years, then we will have a really big company that's making big money. Exactly right, Aaron. I should ignore the trolls. Unfortunately, I like to get in debates with them, and it's a pointless waste of my time. Thank you for that. And on that bombshell, I'd like to say thank you for joining me. Hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Hope you have a wonderful New Year. Look after yourself. Be safe. You know, take it easy on the old spirits and alcohol. And remember, guys, don't be boring. And I'll see you very, very soon, hopefully with a new video. And have a great day. Okay, goodbye. See you later.